The beginning of my mission statement is, "I am a loving teacher and an example of simple truths." That focus has been central in all of my work, including the study of servant leadership. I have always looked for simple truths that reflect common sense practices people can use to make their work and life, as well as the lives of the people they care about, happier and more satisfying. To that end, I find it fun and inspiring to work with co-authors who share a similar philosophy, because I have always found that 1 + 1 is greater than 2. That's certainly been the case as I have worked on this book with Randy Conley. Randy's focus over the last 15 years has been on distilling the complex topic of trust into simple, actionable principles that help people experience more authentic and fulfilling relationships. In recognition of his work, Trust Across America awarded Randy a Lifetime Achievement Award for being a top thought leader in the field of trust. In addition, Inc.com named him a top 100 leadership speaker and thinker. When it comes to servant leadership and trust, we both wonder why the principles we see as common sense are so seldom used in common practice. If today's leaders had a more common sense approach to leadership, we'd venture to say that 65 to 70% of the workforce would not be considered disengaged. That's one reason our original title for this book was, Duh, Why Isn't Common Sense Leadership Common Practice? Another reason is that when I would mention that title to audiences, they'd roar with laughter as they recognized the truth in the title. I would immediately get questions about when the book was going to be available. However, when our publisher, Berrett-Koehler, sent out a survey about possible titles and subtitles, two things were clear. First, the word duh doesn't translate well from English to other languages. And second, a favorite title rose to the top, Simple Truths of Leadership, 52 Ways to be a Servant Leader and Build Trust, with the cover tagline, Making Common Sense Common Practice. We wrote this book because we know a lot of people aren't applying common sense leadership principles in the workplace. The format for the audiobook is simple. First, we identify a simple truth about servant leadership or trust. Then, we describe the puzzling lack of use of the concept and briefly explain why it is important. The final element is a call to action for listeners, making common sense common practice, where we break down the concept into ideas that leaders can easily apply on the job. When common sense leadership is put into practice, everybody wins, leaders, their people, and their organizations. We've divided the simple truths we are sharing into two parts, servant leadership, which features me, and building trust, which features Randy. We have two reasons for doing this. When servant leadership is effectively implemented, trust abounds among leaders and their people. Servant leadership and trust go hand in hand. These two topics highlight our respective areas of expertise. You can use this audiobook in several ways. Listen to the simple truths in order, pick one truth and listen and apply each week of the year, or jump to a subtopic that interests you most. At the end of the audiobook, you'll find a discussion guide for exploring the concepts further with your team. We hope you'll enjoy listening to our audiobook and making some of these simple truths an integral part of your leadership style. If you do, we know it will make a difference in your life and the lives of the people you influence.